Dualism, Lewis says, is the belief that there are two equal and independent powers at the back of everything, one of them good and one of them bad, and that this universe is the battlefield in which they fight an endless war. If dualism is true, then these two powers of good and evil must be equally powerful and equally eternal. So why should we side with good rather than evil? On what grounds can we claim that good is better than evil? For they're both equal to each other, and each regards itself as the right way to approach reality. One happens to like love and mercy, while the other favours hatred and cruelty, and how are we to choose between them? Which is superior? What do we really mean when we call one of them good and the other evil? What we're really saying is that whatever the two powers themselves may think about it, and whichever side we ourselves may happen to prefer at any given moment, one of these powers is actually wrong. So in using the terms good and evil, we must mean that one of the two powers is really wrong and the other really right. But as soon as you say that, you're introducing a standard, and you're saying that one of the powers meets this standard and the other one doesn't. In fact, what we mean by calling the two powers good and evil is that one of them is in a right relation to this ultimate standard of good, and the other is in a wrong relation to it. C.S.Lewis did not regard good and evil as equal and opposite things. And the same could be said about his views on heaven and hell. Heaven and hell are not equal and opposite things. Ask yourself the question, who is the opposite of the devil? This is a good way of testing whether you're secretly a dualist or not. Who is the opposite of the devil? Who is Satan's opposite? And if you find yourself wanting to reply God, if you think God is the devil's opposite, then you are actually a dualist rather than a Christian. Because, of course, the devil is only a created thing, an angel, a fallen angel and a powerful one, but a creature nonetheless. The opposite of such an evil creature can't be the perfect and eternal source of all being that we call God. God has no opposite. The opposite of Satan, the leader of the fallen angels, is not God, but Saint Michael, the Archangel Michael, the leader of the unfallen angels. Lewis points out how, in the parable of the sheep and the goats, the saved go to a place prepared for them, while the damned go to a place prepared not for them, but for the devil and his angels. Hell and heaven are not equal and opposite places as far as human beings are concerned. Hell is a place never made for men at all, but rather for ex-men, ex-people. To enter heaven is to become more human than you ever succeeded in being on earth. To enter hell is to be banished from humanity. And this explains why Lewis writes in The Problem of Pain, "We know much more about heaven than hell, for heaven is the home of humanity. But hell is not our home. Humanity was not made for hell. Heaven and hell are not equal and opposite destinations in the afterlife. Rather, as Lewis puts it, hell is the darkness outside, the outer rim where being fades into non-entity." Lewis writes extensively about both hell and heaven in his non-fiction, most notably in The Problem of Pain, where he remarks that there's no doctrine which he would more willingly remove from Christianity if it was in his power.